Do you want to improve at a quicker pace? Check out GITGUDRacing.com, where I'm offering the most accessible coaching sessions on the market. Now for the track guide. For turn 1, what I use as a reference for braking is the 50-meter board. I'm looking at the 50 and I'm used to getting closer to the wall. For some reason, you don't have to do it. My idea is to open up the corner, but I wasn't paying 100% attention in this lap. You won't gain an advantage for using all the track right here because it's important to use all the track at the turn in. So at this point you're still braking, so you're not really getting an advantage by getting this close to the wall. For some reason I did it just out of habit. I was using in the past this space just for the feeling of it, but you don't have to do it. I want to point it out so you won't get something that's not useful. But either way, I'm braking and looking at the 50. I'm braking slightly past the 50, so just few frames after the 50, I'm applying the brakes. And it's important to use the maximum track, and that is the white line. So you want to align yourself under braking with the white line. So if you're not gonna use this exit road or this part on the right side here to align yourself, you just align yourself to the white line, and whenever you're braking, make sure at turn in you're on the white line, because this is what I'm doing here. I'm at the white line and I'm picking 80% brakes, and then I'm downshifting to second gear before arriving at this curb. And the timing of the downshift, it's important. So you're gonna be in 5th gear, and I found that the best way to find the rhythm of the downshifts is to imagine that in this corner you have to do this: downshift, downshift, downshift. So D, D, D. So you want to downshift very quickly the first 2 gears, but then with the last downshift you're gonna delay it up until you're very close to the curb. So I'm in 5th gear right now, and now 4th, now 3rd, very fast, 4th and 3rd, and now still staying in 3rd, still in 3rd, and now 2nd. Because if you're gonna downshift very quickly, you will lose the rear grip while doing this turning in. So you really want to do this downshift to 2nd gear whenever the car is more closely to the curb, and also whenever the car has less speed. So the timing of the downshift matters. Now we want to trail brake up until we hit this green part of the curb right here. So still trailing, still trailing, still trailing, still trailing in the lower percentage, still trailing at 3%, and now getting back on power at this point. So super important to get early on throttle here, because you're gonna gain a lot of time on the exit. This turn 1, turn 2, it's all about having a good exit. So as early as you can on throttle, you don't want to drop the throttle once you put the power on. So I'm building to 100% and never have to lift again in the next corner. And also you want to cut here as much as you can. You can get away with going a bit over this curb and this grass and this drain right here without an off track. So do it. Now right here you're gonna use all this curb. So the main idea is never drop the throttle. Once you put the throttle on in turn 2, you're gonna stay on throttle. In turn 1, I mean, you're gonna stay on throttle up until this part of the track. And here I'm aligning myself with this kink in the white line right here, and at the kink here I want to brake, not at the exit road, at the kink. I'm applying the brakes, again going to 70-80% pressure and dropping it quite quickly initially, because you want to have the car prepared for turn in. You don't want to brake too hard and maintain that pressure so that the fronts will go past the threshold limit of the grip, so the car won't turn. You want to trail brake, but you want to drop it a bit quickly initially. Now trailing at this curb, and I really want to cut almost to the grass here. So it's important to align yourself and trail in the lower percentages so that the car will turn. Right now I'm trailing to 4%, and then whenever I'm going over this curb, I'm putting the power down immediately, 100%. Don't use more than this curb right here. If you're gonna put your tire to the green thing, it's gonna be an off track, so don't use more than that. very easy to get an off track here. And now for the next corners, the two right-handers, the double apexes, I'm looking at this building, past the building. Whenever I'm turning in, I'm applying the brakes after I'm turning in. It's very important. Don't brake while you turn in and then brake. So fourth gear, turning in, applying just a bit of brakes to make the car point, downshifting to third, and I just want to stay very close to the inside line here. So I want to travel the lesser distance. If you're gonna track out a bit wider, you're gonna lose time with this car. You really want to stay close to the inside at all times, so I'm really following the white line around here, putting the power down again, using this curve, and now flat out, don't drop the throttle around here. And I use as a reference for braking and turning into the next corner the moment in which I have my car with the steering wheel straight. So after I'm positioning myself on this curve and the steering wheel is straight, I'm braking, downshifting to second, and again aiming to cut to this grass here. So cut as much as you can. Now getting back on power, but don't smash the throttle because you don't want to track out wide. You want to stay, you don't want to be on this curb here from this angle. You want to stay closer to the white line, but you need a bit of space. So whenever I'm going downhill, I'm releasing the throttle, applying just a bit of brakes, and then turning and hugging this curve. Now getting back on full power, and for the next corner I'm using this tree as a reference for braking. I'm bringing the car close to the tree and past the tree. Whenever I don't see it anymore, I brake, downshift to second, and again try to use all this curve. I'm going over it, now getting back on throttle. It's important to use these curves. You're gonna gain a lot of time just from the track usage. This is gonna happen in the last corner as well. So firstly, using all the track here, now braking in the middle of this curb, let's say, right here in the middle of it, I'm applying the brakes and I'm downshifting to third gear, and I want to trail, so still trailing, 2%, and right now I'm going back on throttle. So go over this curb, but maintain some brake pressure applied, because otherwise the car will understeer. And it's an important corner. It's important as it is in turn one. You really want a good exit. So ideally, the moment that you go on power, you smash it and then you don't do corrections under throttle. So in my case, I had 2 points in it which I do a small correction, this one here and that one there. Ideally, this will be more smooth to a straight line as possible. Now don't use that much curb. I think I lost some time because I track out a bit wider, so use a bit less. Don't use all the way. You won't get an off track, but the car is gonna get unsettled and you're gonna scrub a bit of speed. So ideally the car is gonna be well balanced while using this curve. And the last part here, even though it's a straight, you want to stay as tight as you can. So really hugging this white line all the way. And in this part here as well, really be super close to this wall, like almost kissing it, because this is gonna be the shorter line. This is gonna be 0.02 maybe gain, but adding up in 10 laps, it's 2/10. So there's something that can gain you without doing anything, basically, just using the least amount of steering angle. And in short, that's a track guide of Interlagos, Brazil with the GR86. I wish you a great week ahead and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.